Hey y'all, I'm Cindy. Welcome to Cindy Hearts Crochet Podcast, where it is 2 nights till Halloween. So I am back to read you a story tonight, and it is about a little after 6 p.m. here in Pinson, Alabama. It's been a really beautiful day today, not too hot, and I think it might have been 80 when the time I checked it in my car, but it was a really nice day, beautiful weather. Had to get up this morning and take Mama in for blood work for her kidneys, for labs that they couldn't get last week. And everything was good with that. Anyway, welcome to my new subscribers. I've got quite a few this week. Thank you so much for joining my channel. I hope I can keep you entertained and keep you coming back for more. And thank you. Welcome back to my returning subscribers. Thank you for sticking it out with me all this time, like a hair in a biscuit. Oh my goodness. So yeah, we went to do that. Went to her kidney doctor, and they finally got blood because she has been drinking water for several days. Yay! But they told her she is going to have to continue drinking water all the time, not just cram for it right before she gets into doctors. So I think they said everything looked good with her kidneys for now. That was one of the main concerns for her upcoming part 2 of her heart cath. So hopefully they'll talk to her heart doctor, get out all the things done, and then she'll go back in Friday for labs for her part 2 of her heart cath. So hopefully everything will be okay, so they can do that, and hopefully her kidney function will be well enough in order to have her heart cath next week, because she does have some blockage, needing that cleared up. And then we went to Hobby Lobby. Yes, we did. What did I need? I needed to get white and brown I Love This Yarn by Hobby Lobby in order to finish up the squares for the gingham pumpkin blanket. I have only 8 to go on the ivory, and then I can start on the white. I think there's very minimal of those, 6 or 8 maybe, and then 1 brown one. But I had to have Hobby Lobby yarn because I'm trying to make it all the same, so I don't have any problems with the squares being different sizes and stuff like that. Because I will not block it before I put it together. After I put it together, I will throw it in the washing machine, and then it will block itself, right? Although I saw some squares that Dana, Wanderlust Crochet, did, and she blocked those, and they looked awesome. Have I mentioned my tea yet? Because I've started this video like 4 times already. I am drinking tonight Red Raspberry by Bigelow. It is an herbal tea. The description says, tangy sweet taste of farm fresh raspberries. The ingredients are hibiscus, rose hips, apples, natural flavor. Not sure what kind of flavor, but it is natural. Elderberries and raspberries. This is a good tea. I steeped it with the hot water from my Insta Solo cup, my Keurig type thing. And I'm drinking it in my cute little puppy dog in his overalls. Fall doggy. He's got him a bushel full of pears right here, and got him some pumpkins over here, in his overalls, in his flannel shirt, and his straw hat. Got the fall leaves up behind him, and I think that's a bushel of apples. It's cute. I think I got this last year at Hobby Lobby. Oh, good stuff. While I was there today, I did get the white and the brown, and then I got me a little ball of blue cotton, because some of the upcoming squares we're going to have for the year of dishcloths has some blue in it, like snowy background blue, Christmas blue, light blue kind of colors. So I thought I'd go ahead and get me a ball of that, because I didn't have anything in that color. The only blue I have is like a turquoise or something. And I feel like something's crawling on me. It may just be a hair. My hair gets everywhere. So anyway, I guess after we went to Hobby Lobby, then what did we do? Went to Cracker Barrel. I still can't eat a lot, so I had mashed potatoes and gravy and biscuit. I still wanted a baked sweet potato, and they had none. They were out of baked sweet potatoes. So about halfway through our meal, and then Mama got some vegetables. What did she get? Slaw, carrots, and what, hash brown casserole maybe, and corn muffins. Um, but about halfway through the meal, the girl came out and brought me our server came out and brought me a baked sweet potato. Yay! I was so happy. It wasn't cooked all the way, but I was proud to have it. Thankful that she went the effort to get it for me. So thank you, lady at Cracker Barrel. I don't know your name. Anyway, so I'm going to read to you tonight. This is a little shorter story, so I want to go ahead and update you on Mama. I did go by 3 different Dollar Trees today trying to find more of those diamond paintings. Could not find any at any of the 3. So I may have to go back to that one, and I think that's the one across the road from where I work. But I will check tomorrow during lunch or something. I did find, though, some stitch markers. A pack of 35 stitch markers for $1.25. And it's those kind, like safety pin type. I don't really need any stitch markers, but I like having these because they're quick to put on and off. Even though I like my cute little ones with the clasp that everybody makes for me, these are a little bit quicker to use. And I'll probably split them with Mama. I don't use that many stitch markers at one time. Like I said, I have tons of them. But that's interesting that they have stitch markers like that. So that's cool. That's not bad for $1.35. I mean $1.25. 35 stitch markers for $1.25. Doggy Dog is sitting here sleeping under my feet. And we finally just fed our birds here at almost dark. We usually feed them first thing in the morning, or before I go to work every morning. I'll put a scoop or 2 out for them. I try not to fill up the feeders because then the squirrels decide they might want some, and then they just drain the feeders. So, but yeah, I can see a few birds over here. And I'm going to have to take in my hummingbird feeders, I guess, because I haven't seen any hummingbirds in the last few days. So yeah, just a few things I gotta get done, right? So now to some reading, right? It's 2 days till Halloween, Tuesday, October 29th, 2024. And I did go by the library today also, trying to find some of the classics so that I could read full books of things that I want to, like, I don't know, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and I don't know, just anything. But the libraries have no classics, and that's kind of shocking to me. I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to go to the huge one downtown Birmingham in order to find what I want to, because I want a real book to hold. I don't want to read it on my Kindle or my phone or whatever. Now, I do read at night before I go to, as I'm laying down, if I'm not sleepy as I lay down. I'll read on my phone, which is a Kindle. But if I'm reading like this right here, I want to hold a book. So anyway, the story tonight is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. What is written in 1886 by Robert Louis Stevenson. And this is just an extract from the whole story. And this is what I'm talking about. I'd like to have the whole story so I can read it instead of just pieces, because to me it just doesn't make sense all the way. So anyway, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. 12 o'clock had scarce rung out over London ere the knocker sounded very gently on the door. I went myself at the summons and found a small man crouching against the pillars of the portico. "Are you from Dr. Jekyll?" I asked. He told me yes by a constrained gesture, and when I had bidden him enter, he did not obey me without a searching backward glance into the darkness of the square. There was a policeman not far off, advancing with his bull's eye open, and at the sight I thought my visitor started and made greater haste. These particulars struck me, I confess, disagreeably, and as I followed him into the bright light of the consulting room, I kept my hand ready on my weapon. Here at last I had a chance of clearly seeing him. I had never set eyes on him before, so much was certain. He was small, as I have said. I was struck besides with the shocking expression of his face, with his remarkable combination of great muscular activity and great apparent debility of constitution, and last but not least, with the odd subjective disturbance caused by his neighborhood. This bore some resemblance to incipient rigor, and was accompanied by a marked sinking of the pulse. At the time, I set it down to some idiosyncratic personal distaste, and merely wondered at the acuteness of the symptoms. But I have since had reason to believe the cause to lie much deeper in the nature of man, and to turn on some nobler hinge than the principle of hatred. This person, who had thus, from the first moment of his entrance, struck in me what I could only describe as a disgustful curiosity, was dressed in a fashion that would have made an ordinary person laughable. His clothes, that is to say, although they were of rich and sober fabric, were enormously too large for him in every measurement. The trousers, hanging on his legs and rolled up to keep them from the ground, the waist of the coat below his haunches, and the collar sprawling wide upon his shoulders. Strange to relate, this ludicrous accoutrement was far from moving me to laughter. Rather, as there was something abnormal and misbegotten in the very essence of the creature that now faced me, something seizing, surprising, and revolting. This fresh disparity seemed but to fit in with and to reinforce it, so that to my interest in the man's nature and character, there... My reading's not connecting tonight. This fresh disparity seemed but to fit in with and to reinforce it, so that to my interest in the man's nature and character there was added a curiosity. There seems to be some punctuation missing, in my opinion. There was added a curiosity as to his origin, his life, his fortune, and status in the world. These observations, though they have taken so great a space to be set down in, were yet the work of a few seconds. My visitor was, indeed, on fire with somber excitement. "Have you got it?" he cried. "Have you got it?" And so lively was his impatience that he even laid his hand upon my arm and sought to shake me. I put him back, conscious at his touch of a certain icy pang along my blood. "Come, sir," said I, "you forgot that I have not yet the pleasure of your acquaintance. Be seated, if you please." And I showed him an example, and sat down myself in my customary seat, and with as fair an imitation of my ordinary manner to a patient, as the lateness of the hour, the nature of my preoccupations, and the horror I had of my visitor would suffer me to muster. "I beg your pardon, Dr. Lanyon," he replied civilly enough. "What you say is very well founded, and my impatience has shown its heel to my politeness. I come here at the instance of your colleague, Dr. Henry Jekyll, on a piece of business of some moment, and I understood—" He paused and put his hand to his throat, and I could see, in spite of his collected manner, that he was wrestling against the approaches of the hysteria. "I understood a drawer—" But here I took pity on my visitor's suspense, and some perhaps on my own growing curiosity. "There it is, sir," said I, pointing to the drawer, where it lay on the floor behind a table, and still covered with the sheet. He sprang to it, and then paused, and laid his hand upon his heart. I could hear his teeth grate with the convulsive action of his jaws, and his face was so ghastly to see that I grew alarmed both for his life and reason. "Compose yourself," said I. He turned a dreadful smile to me, and, as if with the decision of despair, plucked away the sheet. At sight of the contents, he uttered one loud sob of such immense relief that I sat petrified, and the next moment, in a voice that was already fairly well under control, "Have you a graduated glass?" he asked. I rose from my place with something of an effort, and I gave him what he asked. He thanked me with a smiling nod, measured out a few minims of the red tincture, and added one of the powders. The mixture, which was at first of a reddish hue, began, in proportion as the crystals melted, to brighten in color, to effervesce audibly, and to throw off small fumes of vapor. Suddenly, and at the same moment, the boiling ceased, and the compound changed to a dark purple, which faded again more slowly to a watery green. My visitor, who had watched these metamorphoses with a keen eye, smiled, set down the glass upon the table, and then turned and looked upon me with an air of scrutiny. "And now," said he, "to settle what remains. Will you be wise? Will you be guided? Will you suffer me to take this glass in my hand and to go forth from your house without further parley? Or has the greed of curiosity too much command of you? Think before you answer, for it shall be done as you decide." As you decide, you shall be left as you were before, and neither richer nor wiser, unless the sense of service rendered to a man in mortal distress may be counted as a kind of riches of the soul. Or if you shall so prefer to choose, a new province of knowledge and new avenues to fame and power shall be laid open to you here in this room upon the instant. And your sight shall be blasted by a prodigy to stagger the unbelief of Satan. Sir, said I, affecting a coolness that I was far from truly possessing, you speak in enigmas, and you will perhaps not wonder what I hear you with no very strong impression of belief. But I have gone too far in the way of inexplicable services to pause before I see the end. It is well, replied my visitor. Lanyon, you remember your vows. What follows is under the seal of our profession. And now, you who have so long been bound to the most narrow and material views, you who have denied the virtue of transcendental medicine, you who have derided your superiors, behold! He put the glass to his lips and drank at one gulp. A cry followed. He reeled, staggered, clutched at the table and held on, staring with injected eyes, gasping with open mouth. And as I looked, there came, I thought, a change. He seemed to swell. His face seemed to melt and alter, and the next moment I had sprung to my feet and leapt back against the wall, my arm raised to shield me from that prodigy, my mind submerged in terror. "Oh, God!" I screamed, and "Oh, God!" again and again, for there before my eyes, pale and shaken, and half fainting and groping before him with his hands, like a man restored from death, there stood Henry Jekyll. What he told me in the next hour I cannot bring my mind to set on paper. I saw what I saw, I heard what I heard, and my soul sickened at it. And yet now, when that sight has faded from my eyes, I ask myself if I believe it, and I cannot answer. My life is shaken to its roots. Sleep has left me. The deadliest terrors sit by me at all hours. I feel that my days are numbered and that I must die, and yet I shall die incredulous. So that was a really short one. That was The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yep. Wow. Is all I can say. There wasn't enough of that one to even get my mouth set on. Cheers. I think I will work on my diamond painting again for a little while. And yes, it is very addictive. So I'm going to try to finish this one. And I think I've probably got a quarter of it done. But I will show that on a different date and see how it turns out. So far I've gotten into, it's a lot of greens. And I will probably shift into some different colors later on tonight or tomorrow. But anyway, I hope y'all are having a good evening. I hope if you have been trick-or-treating or enjoying the fall festivities, you're having a good time. Good time, good weather, and cute pictures of all the, cute pictures of all the kitties. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Love y'all. Bye.